Hello, this is Nemesis with another video review. This is the Deluxe Class Titan's Return from the newest wave. I believe this is wave 5. This is, Windblade with her Titan Master, Scorchfire. Yes, new version of Windblade, which has some people upset for reasons, but whatever, that's not important. The new Windblade, slightly different color scheme than before, but first, before we get into all that, of course, box time, because that's what we do now. Box, yes, good old card. Including reflections. Nice little artwork there. I've always liked that kind of thing. The whole Titan Master, the Titan head coming down. There's the side thing. And on the backs, of course, you got the renders, including, the robot vehicle mode, the Titan Master, and other toys you can buy, and little short bio right there in 3 different languages. And, of course, warnings and whatnot. That's the package. In the package, of course, you got the toy, you got her bio card, which, of course, I always flip right away, with her stats, and, of course, the instructions. Fold up, but yeah. Again, it's Titan's Return instructions. They're okay, but, wish they'd kind of do the coloring a little bit differently. But anyway, that's it for that. Here is, the jet mode, and you can see it's primarily red with black accents, yellow transparent plastic, or translucent plastic, used for the cockpit. And it's got the VTOL jets, or turbines, I should say, so they can rotate still, just like the old one. And there's one biz landing gear right there, that's it. The rest of it is just these back fins right here. It's got these swords, you can attach right here on the wings as weapons. And also nice is, like many of the flying jet formers and whatnot, last few years, it has a little pole right here for these things, Tamashii stages. Plugs right in, and there you go. It's flying. I'm kind of it's kind of weird. It's like so far forward, but if you pose the stage right, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Because a good chunk of the weight is there in the front, believe it or not. But as long as you, as long as you're careful, it'll be fine. And quick comparison, for the heck of it, with the original Windblade, the Generations version. Here it is. You can see a lot more red on the new version versus the old version. It's black, mostly black with red. This is red with black. You also notice it is a noticeably larger jet overall. But yeah, still serves VTOLs. These ones on the old ones spin. These do not. These do not spin at all. They're just molded. It does share the same problem the old Windblade has, which is you can see the legs are just kind of hanging out in the back of the jet, and plus, there's this hands just chilling under the jet, which is a little disappointing. But it is a Titan. It is deluxe class, so there are going to be there's always these compromises with these jets, and it's just I kind of come to expect it anymore. But overall, it's actually pretty solid looking jet mode. I think the legs integrate a little bit better than the original do, although they're still kind of obvious as legs just sitting there. Again, the hands are a bit of a problem. Whatnot. But, again, cockpit opens forward, though. There's a Titan Master. Yes, the Titan Master, Scorchfire. Let's see if I can zoom in real quick. Yeah, you can see. What's nice is, it's mostly black, you can see that's paint. They're actually painting them again. For, I guess, this second to final wave of Titan's Return, I believe. Yeah, they're actually painting them. There's a little bit of splotch of paint there. And, of course, get them on. Yeah, the swords just tab in these little tabs right here. There's a little slot. But yeah, swords can just tab together as a sword thing, I guess, and then you can just peg the Titan Master on. He sits there. There you go. And I guess you got a riding skiff or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, it is what it is. It's okay. But yeah, I've never been super into those. But anyway, go ahead and put all that stuff off to the side for now, because we're going to transform Windblade here. It's actually a pretty simple transformation. First, if you haven't already done so, flip up the landing gear, just And then take these back parts right here and untab them. Actually, going back in there can be a little bit difficult because these fins right here, or the back heels, can sometimes catch on the plastic trying to go through. Don't worry about it, it will fit. Just kind of keep massaging it if you're having a hard time. But yeah, unfold those, unfold the toes, and then take that whole assembly and push it up like that. It does share engineering with Scourge and Highbrow, so just know that. Untab the wings, put the wings up like that. And then untab the arms. They're actually kind of not, the tabs aren't super secure, so they should come out pretty easily. Untab the arms, rotate or move them up at the shoulders like that, and then rotate it at the elbows. And finally, take the whole jet section and just fold it back onto the back like that. I'm gonna raise the camera just a tiny bit. Take the head, fold it up. Of course, just like every other Titan Master, fold up and pop it in. And now you got Windblade in her robot mode. And yeah, this robot mode is actually kind of interesting. It's kind of been, I noticed it's a bit controversial. I generally like it to a degree. It's kind of weird. Yeah, you got a very thin torso with then very, very wide legs. So, you know, so very wide thighs and whatnot, which lots of people commenting on that. But yeah, it's actually pretty good. The color scheme is overall pretty nice. Just to focus real quick on the head sculpt, because that's a big deal. I really like this head, the head they used here. It looks a lot more like the comics they've been doing. It's a lot better than the old one. And in fact, the old one, so you can see that it's very different. It's a little angrier looking, but yeah. I'm gonna both want to fall down right now. Yeah, that's the thing is, yeah, this is, you can see both these two together, and if I can get this Windblade to stand. That's always been a problem with this Windblade, is she doesn't always like to stand. There we go. Yeah, so you can see these two together. Yeah, you can see this old Generations version and the new version, Titan's Return version. Kind of different, a little more black on the old one, but they kind of have the same general color layout and whatnot for the most. But yeah, you see there's more red here on her thighs versus black here, and just a little minor differences. More red on the shoulders on the new one. Some minor molding, but yeah, the head is definitely better on the new one, and it stands a bit better. If I, yeah, see that I just barely touched it and it just kind of went down, but this stands pretty good as long as you get the heels all lined up straight. But this one is just really does not like to stand up, and that's kind of one thing the new one has over the old one, which is just it stands better. But yeah, you can see that the differences between the two. But yeah, new one, it looks nice overall. Just, I mean, it's one of those things that kind of the backpack's really big and whatnot. But yeah, it's got Titan Return, head, so lots of room because there's no collars or anything to get in the way. Also can wiggle left and right a lot. Shoulders on ball joints, so lots of back is hindered just because of, again, there's just massive backpack in the way, so you can only really can't go far back, but it can go out pretty far. There's a bicep swivel here. Elbows, about 90 degrees. And there is no waist because, again, it shares the engineering with Scourge and Highbrow, so because of that, there is no waist. Hips, though, hips, yeah. Forward, back, actually go back pretty far. Outward, it's actually soft ratchet outward and goes 90 degrees, so you actually got quite the splits going, although the backpack will get in the way if you're trying to do that. Thigh swivels, has those. Very nice, not too tight, not too loose. Knees, because of the transformation, excellent amount of range there, lots of curl, so Almost as like a jumbo jointed knee, so I like that. And toes, you got toes that can do that. That's about it for foot. But yeah, it's got a decent amount of posability. I've noticed sometimes the head doesn't like to. It feels like the head doesn't like to seat very well. I mean, generally it's fine, but it sometimes feels like it wants to pop off at any moment, and that's kind of a problem. But yeah, it's got good articulation for deluxe. Oh yeah, I guess you can flap the wings. They click, but that's about it. You got 2 click points. There's no really rest in between the two, and the VTOLs can still move. But yeah, the swords, got 2 of them, so she can hold those pretty well. Even though she's got open hands, the swords are done in such a way they can be held. No problem. 2 of them. They're very large swords, but hey, are you going to argue with someone who has 2 very large swords? Out of curiosity, I believe because it's universal, she can still hold the original Windblade sword. If you want. Yeah. She can kind of hold that, okay. It's not super, because that's a different sword handle, it's not the greatest grip, because this is oblong versus round. But it's decent enough at holding it, as long as you don't, fidget with it too much, it will hold. She'll hold it just fine. So, new toy, new Windblade, is she worth it? Well, it depends. If you hate the character, you're not going to like this one. If you already hate the character from the comics. That's the thing. I mean, she's got noticeably different proportions over the original. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, look at that. That is very different proportionally. If you're okay with the new proportions, she's an interesting figure in her own right. She has, I guess, more limitations compared to the old one, but she can stand better without having to do crazy stuff and whatnot, because those heels suck on this one. We all know that. Articulation-wise, the old one is better. It just is. It's got the same articulation as the new one, plus a little extra, including the waist and wrist swivels, versus this, which doesn't have either one of those. And that's kind of the thing, is if you already have the old Windblade, this might not be worth getting the new one. It really depends. If you just really don't like the old one for whatever reason, and you're liking the look of this one, yeah, sure, go ahead. If articulation's a big deal, yeah, then the old one is better. If looks, it's kind of, for me, it's kind of a toss-up. I kind of like the new one. I like the old one. I like the new one, both looks-wise, so there's that. Posability, the old one wins hands down. Transformation and alt mode. I think the alt mode on the new one is way better than the old one. The old one was just kind of clunky in some ways. It looked like it was almost unfinished in some ways. The head sculpt is way better on the new one, no doubt. I'm wondering if there's a way to modify the old one to match the new one's face, or possibly just use the new one's Titan Master as a head for the old one. Might work out better. But yeah, it's just kind of... It really is a toss-up in many ways. Again, aesthetically, a lot of people are preferring the old one, and I don't blame them. The new one looks alright, because I think has some odd little proportional issues here and there. The alt mode's great. I like the swords somewhat, although I do like the old sword a lot better. Yeah, it's just kind of it's a weird mixed bag compared to the old one. It's fine if you don't already have a Windblade and you want one, sure, go for it. Again, it's really good head sculpt, and it's really nice alt mode, and has decent articulation. If you already have the old Windblade, might not be worth it. Again, depends, unless you've already sold off your old Windblade because of whatever reason. So yeah, that's the thing, is just new Windblade may or may not be worth it. It depends on your, I guess, preferences. But I like it. It's okay. Possibly not the strongest figure of this particular wave. Yeah. It's kind of a look, and I guess I can't really tell you what, it's not a definitive yes or no. It's just kind of you're going to have to look at it and decide for yourself based off a lot of factors. Yeah, if you want a Windblade and already have one, sure, but if you already have a Windblade, really think about it. Really think about it, either adding to or replacing your current Windblade if you already have one. I have no idea. I can't about the Robots in Disguise version. I can't really compare it to that one, but yeah, that's that, I guess. Oh, yeah. I guess you're going to have to look at this and not ignore my babbling if you want to decide for yourself whether or not this is worth it. So I guess that's that. This was, again, Titans Return Windblade with Scorch Fire. Yeah, Scorch Fire. And I hope this is at least somewhat helpful for you.